a lot of people who have this type of, addiction to shoes end up
Calling me an addict?
Yeah, I am actually.
Hi, I'm Mayor. I'm an addict. Hi, Mayor.
A lot of them end up starting sneaker stores. Have you ever considered owning your own sneaker store?
Yes and no. I think I can get an account because of the people that I know.
Right.
I would be disappointed if I didn't. But in the same token, and these are not quoted numbers. This is me guesstimating because I know the store owners.
Mm-hmm.
If you have A-Life in New York and your store is 158 Rivington Street in the middle of NoHo, Soho, Houston Street, whatever you want to call it, downtown premier location, and your rent is $10,000 a month, I don't want that problem. I can have the same store in Cincinnati, my man in corporate. I could have another store in Kentucky like Oneness or wherever else, have the same shoes, same profit margin, same clothing, rent Con Ed and cable is only $2,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do that. So I'm not out there, so I don't want to do that.
You're in Jersey, though.
Shit is expensive in Jersey.
Not like Manhattan.
I understand that.
Not like NoHo.
I understand
that.
But
Soho.
But if I want to put a store in Edgewater on River Road, you're talking $7,000 a month opposed to $10,000.
Okay.
I've done the research. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're talking Teaneck Road where Packer is,
Yeah.
Packer's small.
Yeah.
Packer been there 100 years. You know what I'm saying? So I go back to Packer's father. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how far I go back with Packer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you're talking different. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to go in Jersey. Like if you're on Dean Street in Inglewood, it's expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm next, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm in the mall, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So if I'm on a strip mall, it's expensive. So it's different. So it's gone through my mind, but it's not as lucrative as everybody thinks.
Well, no, I mean.
And then you get in trouble when you backdoor too. See, I've been around Nike a long time to learn. Like when these stores are not making their numbers, you just can't survive off retros and limited releases. So you still got to have your regular Air Forces, your regular Air Max, your regular no-name Air Maxes for $90. If they don't sell, you got to get them shits off your shelves. You don't want to put them on sale, so you backdoor them shits and sell them 15% above wholesale to other stores that don't have accounts, and you get caught. Your account is done.
Right.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
For 15% above wholesale?
Yeah, I mean.
Stores are difficult. If you ain't got that niche, whatever you want to call it, if you ain't got that certain thing to go with it or that apparel to go with it, it's a dangerous game, man.
Well, I mean, I have friends who own stores, who own multiple stores, and they've broken, it down for me where they basically say, this is what happens. Okay, you want some retros? You got to buy all this other bullshit that you probably don't
they
want.
Making the consumer take something else to get the retro?
No, not the consumer, the store.
Oh, you mean the brands in general? Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about the retail store. You can't say, okay,
you can't
Nike,
tell Jordan. You can't tell Jordan to just give you retros without giving you Flight 45s and Team Jordan. I get
Team
it.
Jordan and all that kind
and
of
apparel.
stuff.
I totally get it.
Yeah, you have to buy all this other stuff in order to get just a limited number of the retros. Because obviously, if people had a choice, they're just like, I just order the retros.
Right.
I know those will sell, but it's like, yeah.
My answer to that is now you know why Nike's one of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in the world.
Yeah, and in fact, if you really think about it, it seems like Nike really seems like they're somewhat trying to squeeze out the retailers also because they make a much higher profit margin off Nike.com.
Yeah, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's just a lot. Nike got a lot of doors, man. There's still a lot of Nike doors. And to Nike's credit, again, it's evolution. If your store, let me give you a store from the Bronx. If it's 2015 and your store still look like Frank Sporting Goods in the Bronx from the 90s, something's wrong with you. You don't deserve that account. You don't deserve Nike. You don't deserve Adidas. You don't deserve Puma no more. So now the Nike's thing, and Adidas thing too. If your store, even if you're a mom and pop store, make that. Tom, Dick, and Harry's ain't a boutique. Mm-hmm. Tom, Dick, and Harry's is one of the most famous stores. That's like Walter's, Tom, Dick, and Harry's. Tom, Dick, and Harry's been around forever. Blue Ribbon Sportswear on the receipt. Mm-hmm. Like, that's BRS. Nike was Blue Ribbon Sportswear before they were Nike. Mm-hmm. Original grandfathered into the whole shit. Got a store in Brooklyn. And he got a store on 106th and 3rd Avenue. That's where Jay-Z goes, give me that whole wall on the 10 and a half in the Streets is Watching movie. Mm-hmm. It's a legendary store. He updated his store over the years. It's still a sneaker store. It's a mom and pop store. It's not a boutique, but it looks good, so he still has his account. If your shit still look like KP Khan back in the 80s and the 90s, and it's 2015, you don't deserve your account, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of getting certain types of shoes is the location and how the store looks.
Well, again, Nike bases you. Nike bases you on certain things. I mean, if if you're pinnacle or better or best, whatever the account is that you have that they give you, if your store look like shit, you don't deserve best.
Yeah.
You deserve good. You know what I'm saying? If your shit is a boutique, you deserve tier 0, which is best, better, pinnacle, whatever they want to call it now. I don't even know what they call it no more. I used to be around so much with them that I know what it's called, but I don't know the terminologies they use anymore.
Okay.
But it's the same thing. Same thing with I went to Neiman Marcus in Beverly Hills. They sell Givenchy in Neiman Marcus in Beverly Hills. I seen this nice Givenchy shirt that I wanted. She was dope. I tried it on. They ain't have my size. I was like, "You want to ship it to you? Want to ship it to you, Mayor?" Nah, I get it when I go back to Jersey. I go to Garden State Plaza in New Jersey, which is not a Short Hills and not a Beverly Hills. They don't carry Givenchy in that Neiman Marcus. Certain stores get certain shit.
Yeah.
I wound up going to Short Hills, which is the super duper expensive rich mall in Jersey.
Yeah.
No Givenchy in there either. So now I'm mad that I didn't buy it when I was in Beverly Hills. Same thing with Nike stores.
So what does it take to really have a successful sneaker store these days?
Other shit.
Other shit.
Everything else.
But it seems like, and this is like, I remember I talked to Matt Powell. You know who that is?
No.
He's a sneaker analyst. Like he works, I believe he works for Forbes now. But
Okay.
Originally when I met him, he worked for an analyst company where basically the like the stockbrokers would go to him for information about Nike and other
They're going to
brands.
start hedge fund companies now and resellers.
Not even for that. I mean, for actual, for people who buy Nike stock
Yeah,
and Reebok
analytics,
stock and stuff like
analytics.
that. Analytics, exactly. And he was saying how,
I have Nike stock.
yeah, I do too, a lot of it. But he was saying how nervous the retailers are these days because so much of their sales is coming from one brand.
That's the store owner's fault. Take a chance. Take a risk. There's nothing wrong with carrying PRPS in your store along with Nike. There's nothing wrong with carrying Blood Brothers or carrying Tacma. I'm saying, like, if I had a sneaker store, the first brand I'm carrying is Tacma. You know what I'm saying? Like, or carry Blood Brothers or a Billionaire Boys Club or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? If people still wear BBC, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, those are the kind of things that I'm looking to grab. Stuff that I wear, I'm looking to have in my store. It's the first thing that I'm doing. You got to have multiples. You got to have eye candy. When you work in Foot Locker, and I've never worked there, but I know guys that manage and stuff, they teach you how to make your commissions off multiple sales.
Yeah.
If you sell that sneaker, you better try to sell a sock with it. Try to sell a shoe repellent with it.
Yeah.
That's where you make your money with multiples. They call it multiples.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still call it that. I'm going back 100 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the key. So you got to have other shit in your store. I want you to be able to go in my store, and if you can't find what you're looking for, grab something else.
Sure. Now, in every industry, I don't care whether it's tech, I don't care if it's housing, I don't care if it's sneakers, there's always going to be bubbles, and bubbles always burst. Do you feel that we're in the middle of a bubble right now when it comes to sneakers and athletic apparel in general?
Nah. I'll tell you why. Because these brands are able to take it elsewhere. Now we're going to go Vlad TV talk for a second. I used to have one of the hottest nightclubs in New York City.
Yeah.
I used to have Club Essos.
Okay.
Remember Little Kim in the tunnel and Essos sipping espresso?
Yeah.
Like, I was Club Essos was mine.
Okay.
I had Essos. If you had on sweatpants and sneakers, you could not walk through my door. Now you can't get into a club unless you're wearing a Rick Owens drop crotch sweatpants and socks and sneakers, or unless your tech fleece is on right. Like, if you get dressed to walk into a club now, you look like a fucking fool. If you got your little button-down shirt on or your little Hickey Freeman sports jacket on, or, you know what I'm saying, or your Barbados button-down shirt, you look stupid. You know what I'm saying?
But that's just right now.
But again, it's time. But the fact that they were able to take their sweatsuits, which their old basic sweatsuits are still in Dick's Sporting Goods and fucking whatever else, and Models and all, you can still buy them $30 sweatsuits. But now you walk into Nike Town or you walk into these boutiques and you got $225 Nike white label. You go to MrPorter.com, you got Nike white label, $250 jackets, tech fleece jackets. Regular tech fleece is $135, $100 sweatpants. Like, that shit is cool. You get into the club with that. So it's the fact that they can, as long as they can keep evolution going with everything else. You know what I'm saying? Tech fleece,
Well, let's.
Flynet, like they keep reinventing the wheel, and as long as consumers keep sucking it up, I don't think it's going nowhere. I think shoe sales are at all-time high.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And this is why I'm saying it's in a bubble, because you can't. The thing about any business, I don't care what it is, there's no such thing as infinite growth.
I agree.
You cannot keep growing forever. At one point, the growth will slow down, and depending on what kind of business it is, slows down.
But if
it bursts, whatever else.
But if you overcome the bubble, and it's only deflated for X amount of time,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So if the stock market closes again, if the stock market is 17,000 right now, and in 2009 it was under 10,000, 9,000, whatever it was, and it popped back up 2 years later.
Yeah.
That's not a real bubble, because if you're going on a chart, if you're going on one of these, like that shit was only down for a hot second and then bang.
Well, I mean,
market is 17,000 right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's different. Like, I don't want to call it a bubble. Like, I call it a quick gap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
to call it a bubble means like how often will it hit rock bottom? I don't see it hitting rock bottom often, because there's always, and then the thing about us and the thing about our culture is, as we get older and phase out, there's more coming in.
Right.
And these more coming in want to be like their parents.
Do they? Do you really want to be like your parents? Because
I'm one of the coolest dads on the planet. So my kids, you know what I'm saying?
Kids may want to be like you, but you're not a typical parent. I mean, most people's dads don't got a Cuban link chain on.
No, I get it.
I
get that. But some of these kids that I know, that I see on sneaker lines and all that stuff, and talk to me and find their business and make it the way they talk to me, and their parents have paid me to have dinner with their kids for bar mitzvah dinners and all that bullshit.
Okay.
That's a whole nother hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole nother hustle for Mayor.
Right.
Mayor Consultants knows how to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So when I do that and I see these rich kids whose father, his condo is 79th and Madison, the whole block, but his kid is selling shoes and buying Balmain and Givenchy and all that with his sneaker money, because his dad don't give him, but he knows his dad has a black card and he knows his dad is worth $1 zillion. So in his mental, he wants to be like his dad, but he's doing it on his own. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as my kids wanting to be just like their dad. I remember Just Dawn and Kanye saying that they're responsible for retros being retro.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
No. That's just me repeating what I hear. Shout out to Dawn. No, I'm a Dawn C fanatic. Hats is dope, everything is dope, but that shit was a comical comment to me.
Every damn shoe that I wanted when I was growing up that my parents wouldn't buy me, that's what I wanted. I wanted a Bronco. I bought a 1973 Bronco convertible.